I think of it like this. So I did construction for, I don't know, 12, 15 years, something like that.
Okay.
Remodeled a bunch of houses, a bunch of old houses too. And I've built new houses from the ground up. And I think of it like this. What I'm starting to run into, and that's gets under my skin a little bit, is there are some things in place where it's like you're going to remodel one of these old 1920s houses and you want to modernize it, make it look pretty. Well, it's easier to build a new house than it is to remodel that old house.
Are we talking specifically now about the Cahaba project?
No,
or
I'm not. We can fold into there. I'm using this as an analogy.
You're just, okay.
Yes.
In general.
As a builder, or as a person trying to remodel a house, sometimes it can seem easier to build the new house.
Okay.
And so that's what it kind of feels like right now. It feels like the new administration's coming in. We have all these plans. We want to do all these things, but there's already stuff in place. And you may have to remove some plaster and some lath off the wall before, you can get to the electrical to change the old knob and tube electrical.
Yeah.
Or you may have some old corroded copper pipes you got to change out. And it's a lot harder to do that than to where if you're just building a new house, the sheetrock's not up yet. You just go put the pipes in and you cover it up sheetrock. But no, that's actually a good segue to the Cahaba Project. Let's jump into that.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
I would like to see it preserved as much as possible.
Me too.
I think there's a happy medium. Now, when I say preserved as much as possible, I don't mean restricting people and their private property rights. I don't mean restricting what they can do on the inside and the backside of their houses. That's not what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, no.
What I'm talking about here is preserving the historic nature that is registered on a national level
since 2006. Yeah,
and preserving that as much as possible if we can. And then here's one of my arguments. Here's why I like that. First off, it's just a cool piece of history. And why would you that's like going and just knocking down all the statues everywhere because you like
well, and it's a massive piece of history. Like that's what I've been trying to educate people on for years now is, hey, like I know, sorry, but like I've said constantly, you've heard it in a talk at the library. I'm sure you've heard it elsewhere. It's not just historic to Trussville, not just historic to Jefferson County, not just historic to Alabama. This one is unique and historic to the entire United States, and we've got it right here.
Okay, let me tie in our last chunk of conversation.
Yes.
Using an analogy of an old house. Let me tie that in.
Okay.
The houses that we remodeled, and we were doing this for profit. The houses, when I was actually doing construction, houses that we remodeled, not an analogy now.
Yeah.
The new houses didn't make as much money as the old houses we remodeled. Because there was so much charm and uniqueness in those old houses that we would preserve. Yeah. We wouldn't just go in and rip everything apart. We would try to preserve it as much as possible. And then we would modernize and update the inside of the homes. There was more value preserved.
Yes.
We had overall more value in those homes if we did that rather than if we were to knock it down and rebuild.
Exactly. And this is what I can say that I happened to wear the hat tonight. That wasn't on purpose. I just got a new one, so I wore it. But the Cahaba Homestead Heritage Foundation, when we formed in 2021, one of my first things that I set out to do was to do just a crap ton of research about preservation, and not just like, hey, preserve it because it's old and I'm nostalgic, which a lot of people think that's the case, but there actually is an economic benefit to it.
Yes.
And we looked at different, I can't think of them right now. I've got a whole presentation on our website that I made that you can look and you can see the numbers all across the country. I didn't just be like, oh, this huge one in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was looking at Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, New York, California, Texas, everywhere, Florida, literally everywhere. And across the board, we were looking at straight data that showed literally that preservation, maintaining that harmony, that scale, you kind of know as a buyer, you kind of know what you're buying into. There's a steadiness about it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I want to say that's, and sorry for interrupting.
No, I was done.
So one of the
I'm off my soapbox.
One of my buddies there that lived there, he moved there from Carrington Lakes.
Okay.
And he had lived other places in Trussville, but he said, man, he goes, I didn't understand the vibe And I don't know if he used 5. That's a new.
I know who you're talking about, but I
He
won't
goes,
name
I
it.
don't. He goes, I don't think I understood when I moved into the Cahaba Project the community feel. I can just
Yep.
walk out of my front door and hit that sidewalk, and you've got families walking to the school, you got people exercising, people walking their dogs,
Yeah.
and it's just this community feel that is, to me, that is the essence of Trussville. That is our charm. That's our hometown community.
It's right in the middle of the city. It's the heartbeat.
And we need to save that. That is a part of us. And that's one of the things I think that draws people to that area as
Absolutely.
well.
There, as you might guess, doing the book, there were so many people that I talked to that have lived there for so long that they'd be sitting on their porch because, you know, it is very much a wave to your neighbor from the porch kind of area. But there would be people that come just to walk their kids. Certainly the Greenway is a part of that. Don't want to leave that out. But part of that, you know, they're walking Parkway and they'd be like, hey, when were these houses built? What is this place? Why is it different? And they get to tell them the story. So you're right. It draws people in, not in like a money-making tourism kind of way, but it brings people here because it is such a draw and people want to see that and kind of be a part of that.
It's a part of that quality of life.
Absolutely.
When you have the equation that makes up the quality of life, it's one of the variables. When you
Yes.
start taking out the variables, your quality of life gets lower and lower and lower. And I was